All right, what's up guys? So how does one tweet turn into a $75,000 a month in recurring revenue business in under a year and a half? Today I'm breaking down exactly how Papermark pulled that off. And this was a husband and wife duo. I'm going to explain what they built, how open source became their growth engine, which is not talked about a lot. Open source promotes high K factor, and I'll go over K factor later in this video. But this is how they make money while giving the core product away for free and the specific playbook you can steal if you're building anything in SaaS right now. So this advice can be applicable to founders who do not have a hard paywall app. So let's get into it. So who are they and what did they build? So Papermark is built by Mark and Julia, a husband and wife team. They describe Papermark as the open source successor of DocSend. And if you ever sent a pitch deck, sales deck proposal, or a data room link, you already understand the problem. I know a lot of beginner founders have no idea what this is. You hear pitch deck, sales deck, and proposal, and a data room link. You hear that whenever you go to sell your SaaS business because you need a data room to show to your buyer. Or if you're raising money, you need a pitch deck and sales deck. So anyways, with this process, you don't just want to send a PDF, you want to know what happens after you send it. So basically, whenever that stuff is sent, the owner wants to know what happens after you send it. So did the client open it? How long did they spend on it? Which page did they get stuck on? Did they forward it? And Papermark is basically a document sharing plus analytics platform where you turn a document into a link, and then you add things like password protection, watermarks, and tracking so you can see engagement down to time spent per page live. And their angle is simple. A lot of incumbents in this space have been around forever. They don't innovate much and they're heavily focused on enterprise. Papermark came in as a modern open source option, and how it even started was because of a tweet. This is the part everyone should study. And also guys, I've documented my journey all the way from 0 to 10K MRR on this YouTube channel to then listing my SaaS to private equity on acquire.com. So if you're a beginner founder or an advanced founder and you want my team to help you not waste months building and marketing, book a call with me below and I'll personally help you develop and market your SaaS. So anyways, let's get back to the video. So this guy Mark tweets something like, I'm going to build an open source alternative to DocSend, and it pops off fast, tens of thousands of views within hours. People start replying that they actually want this and they want it open source. So he does what most people say they'll do, but don't. He builds an MVP that weekend. A lot of you guys watching this probably built an MVP in a couple weeks. I always say in every video to set the standard higher, build the MVP in a weekend, a usable first version, not a pitch deck, not a wait list, not a coming soon, a real product. It's very possible with AI nowadays. So anyways, Monday comes around, he posts the launch tweet, and that one gets even bigger, around 100,000 views. And soon after that, customers start showing up asking the most important questions in SaaS. Can we pay you for this? And that's how it kicked off. So why did open source work as the right bet? You know, a lot of founders hear open source and assume it means you're donating your business to the world, but the way Papermark did it is what's known as open core model. Here's the issue. The core product is open source and self-hostable. Anyone can run it for free, but a big chunk of users don't want the overhead of hosting, maintenance, updates, infrastructure, or security reviews. So Papermark offers a hosted version at papermark.com that they charge for. Almost a bait and switch, but if you want advanced enterprise features, you can pay for a license even if you still want to run it on your own infrastructure. Guys, this model kind of reminds me of when OpenAI was a nonprofit organization. They got everybody in and then they flipped it and switched it to paid and enterprise. It's just the first thing I think of. So anyways, they win both sides of the market. So they won the DIY technical teams who want control, and they also won the non-technical teams who just want the best hosted experience. So what open source actually means in practice. So open source means the source code is publicly available on github.com. Anyone can view it, audit it, contribute improvements, report issues, build alongside you. And there's an underrated career incentive here. A lot of developers contribute to open source because it's public proof of skill. It's basically a living portfolio. So when you build something that people want and you make it open source, you don't just attract users, you attract contributors. So this is why open source became a huge advantage for them. It sounds backwards, but it's real. It's defensibility. So if you give away the core product for free, it becomes hard for someone else to copy you and undercut because you already priced the base offering at basically the floor. You have zero barrier to entry. People can discover it, try it, and use it immediately. New teams can adopt it without begging procurement. That naturally increases distribution. Again, high K factor. Number 3, community-driven R&D, aka free velocity. Incubants have employees building features. Open source projects can have a global community building features, fixing bugs, and improving the product constantly. That's a massive advantage if you're competing against older, slower software. So trust and security. This is especially important for document sharing. When you're selling into teams that care about security, open source makes audits easier because the code can be reviewed. You're not asking people to blindly trust a black box. This is what a lot of beginner founders get wrong whenever they're selling B2B enterprise. So what should you build right now if you're watching this? So the AI era makes this even more powerful because AI makes building faster. Founders can go after smaller niches, and still make real money. I say this in every video. With AI, you can attack certain verticals, especially in rebuilding bloated software categories. So if you look at CRMs as an example, I made a B2B CRM. CRMs are massive, complex, and one size fits all. So instead of trying to build another generic CRM, you build a targeted CRM in a specific niche, which is vets, property managers, clinics, whatever, where the workflow is narrower, simpler, and better. And by the way, guys, CRMs have very, very, very low churn, not only because you're targeting consumer professionals or perhaps businesses, but your software is integrated into the workflow. So it is very complicated to make a CRM. Less complicated nowadays, but if you want a steady business, I would suggest making a CRM, not as your first app, but perhaps in the future as a web app. So my point is, it's not only CRMs, guys. The point is, find markets where existing tools are bloated and slow and rebuild something focused and clean. And these people make an important statement. A lot of the time, the software isn't the differentiator. So being open source doesn't automatically hurt you. So here's the kicker. How did they grow from $0 to $900,000 in annual recurring revenue? Their growth strategy stacks a few things that work insanely well together. Number one, build in public. With open source, it's natural. You already have nothing to hide. So they share progress constantly, small updates, features and progress improvements, even if it's not perfect yet. Number two is leverage community cycles. They mentioned participating in Hacktoberfest, a month-long open source event where devs look for projects to contribute to. And that matters because it creates bursts, more contributors, more pull requests, faster shipping, more visibility, more users, more conversions. Number three is outship incumbents. So their logic is incumbents are slow and sleepy. If you ship faster, your feature set catches up, then reaches parity, then goes beyond. And that's when people start switching. So what are the numbers? This is what they shared, guys. So first year, 20K MRR, which is pretty impressive, but it's still reasonable. Middle of the second year, 75K MRR. Not a lot of people make it past 20K MRR. They currently have around 30,000 users, including their free users. They have thousands of customers. Paid customers are a smaller subset than users. Around 60 contributors on GitHub, around 7,000 GitHub stars, and their North Star metric is views on shared documents. They cited roughly 800,000 views. That last one is key. They're tracking the real product output, not vanity metrics, guys. So what is the tech stack? They run Papermark as two Next.js projects. So one, the marketing side. Number two, the open source app, which is the product. So they use Next.js, TypeScript, GitHub for hosting, Versal for hosting, PlanetScale for the database, Trigger.dev for background jobs, Resend for email, Stripe for payments, and they mentioned using Cursor as their AI IDE day to day. It's a very modern, lean SaaS tech stack, guys, and the big theme is move fast, ship fast, and don't overcomplicate. So what are the costs and margins? And this is what it takes to run. They broke down costs like this: about 80% on freelancers plus founder salaries, around 15% on marketing and growth experiments, around 5 to 6% on tools. And the takeaway is this isn't some magical zero cost open source story, guys. They still invest heavily in building. Open source just improves distribution and development speed. And the most important advice they give is, this is the part I'd tattoo on the wall if I was building an open source business. Being an open source alternative isn't automatic success. You need two things, which is reach, feature, parity. You have to be good enough that people can actually switch. Number two, outship the market. You can't just be another alternative. You want to be the successor in this vertical. I like to look at School versus WAP. WAP is constantly adding new variants, design, and features, improving customer support. In School, well, they're a bit more conservative. I would take the latter any day. So anyways, the key step is turn open source excitement into product momentum, convert users into active usage, then into paid customers, then into expansion. So you guys need to start with a problem people already pay for, launch fast, use distribution, native channels, which is Twitter, building in public, make adoption frictionless, which is open source, self-host options, monetize with open core, hosted versions, plus paid advanced features, build community flywheels, contributors, faster shipping, more users, and complete by speed, which is feature parity, outshipping incumbents. So if you want more breakdowns like this, real numbers, real models, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you want mentorship or anything like that, and fill out the application. So anyways, that's it for today's video. Have a good one, guys.